A chill wind swept across the Montana plains, carrying with it the scent of snow and the promise of a harsh winter. As dust settled over the horizon, painting the sky in hues of purple and gray, the old Harper Ranch house stood silhouetted against the darkening sky, a lonely sentinel watching over a half-century of secrets. The rusted swing set creaked in the breeze, a mournful sound that echoed the emptiness in the house where laughter and love had once filled the rooms. It had been 50 years since the Harper family had lived here, 50 years since their lives had been uprooted by a web of deceit and murder that had stained the town in shame. And now, as if drawn by an invisible force, one of the family was returning. In the fading light of the day, a lone vehicle rumbled along the dirt road leading to the ranch. A pickup truck, its tires crunching on the gravel, emerged from the swirling dust cloud, revealing the face of its driver, etched with determination and a hint of sadness. Behind the wheel sat Emily Harper, a woman in her late 60s whose eyes held the wisdom of years, yet also the fire of a daughter determined to uncover the truth. Her journey was not merely a return home, it was a quest for answers. As a young girl, Emily remembered the house differently, filled with the echoes of her father's booming laugh and the aroma of her mother's baking. The memories were vivid yet bittersweet, like candy left too long in the sun, sticky and unsettling. She remembered the day her father left and never returned. He had spoken of meeting someone important, his voice low and urgent, and then he had vanished. The sheriff had called it an accident, but Emily's mother never believed it. Neither did Henry Walker, the family friend who had cared for Emily and her brother after their father disappeared. Decades had passed, yet the mystery of her father's disappearance had remained a constant presence in Emily's life. Now retired and living in Washington state, she had received a letter that had shaken her from her quiet life like an earthquake. A letter that had unearthed ghosts she had thought long buried. The letter had arrived 2 months earlier, bearing the postmark of the nearby town of Dayton, Montana. Its contents were both cryptic and urgent. Emily, your father trusted me with proof of the land fraud that cost him his life. I've kept it hidden in the ranch house under the dining room floor. I'm dying, and it's time you had it, Henry Walker. Emily's world had tilted on its axis. This letter, scrawled in shaky handwriting, was a lifeline to the past. It spoke of hidden secrets and a truth that had been buried for over half a century, and it hinted at a danger that even after all this time still lingered. She learned that Henry had passed away just days after sending the letter, leaving Emily alone with his cryptic message and a ticking clock. With each passing day, the urgency to return to Montana grew, pulling her toward the heart of the mystery. Upon arriving at the ranch, Emily found the house much as she had remembered it, a weathered structure standing stoic against the relentless Montana winds. But it was the silence that truly resonated, a silence that screamed louder than any gunshot. As the first rays of sunlight touched the frost-kissed landscape, Emily set about her task, driven by a need to uncover the truth. She began with the house, combing through every room, every corner, searching for any sign of her father's presence. In the midst of the stale air and cobwebs, she discovered a faint scent of pipe tobacco, a scent that clung to her father like a second skin. It led her to the dining room, where the floorboards seemed newer than the rest, a detail she had noticed even as a child. Emily's gaze fell upon a loose floorboard, a seemingly insignificant detail that sparked a memory from her childhood. She recalled her father working in this very room, the sound of his hammer echoing through the house. Her heart pounded in her chest, a drumbeat of anticipation and fear. Could this be the key to the mystery? With trembling hands, she pried up the board, revealing a hollow space beneath. Inside lay a small metal box wrapped in layers of oilcloth, its surface tarnished and worn. It was heavy, and as Emily lifted it, its weight seemed to carry the burden of years of secrets. Back in the safety of her rental truck, Emily carefully opened the box. Inside, nestled in layers of tissue paper, lay a stack of documents tied together with a faded ribbon. The topmost sheet was a letter, and as Emily unfolded it, the ink from half a century ago seemed to dance before her eyes. It was her father's familiar scrawl, his words echoing across the years. Henry, I've found proof that the county has been selling ranch land to shell companies run by Denton and Sheriff Briggs. They're stealing land from honest families and reselling it for profit. If they find out I know, they'll kill me. If anything happens to me, keep this safe for Emily, Tom. Each word was a shard of glass piercing the fog of the past. Land fraud, murder, her father had known more than anyone had imagined. And then there were the photographs, images frozen in time, capturing a moment that had shaped a legacy. One photograph showed her father standing next to County Commissioner Charles Denton in front of the courthouse, both men smiling, their faces betraying no hint of the deceit that lurked beneath. Another image captured the sheriff himself, his badge glinting in the sunlight, accepting an envelope from her father. The third picture was the most haunting, showing a stack of property deeds spread out on a table, each page a testament to stolen dreams and broken trust. Suddenly, Emily understood the truth. Her father hadn't drowned. He had been silenced, his death orchestrated by the very people who should have protected him. The revelation hit her like a physical blow, knocking the breath from her lungs and leaving her weak. But amidst the shock, a new resolve took root within her. She would bring her father's killers to justice, no matter how long it took. With the evidence secured, Emily contacted the regional newspaper in Billings, hoping to expose the fraud her father had uncovered. The investigative journalist she met was intrigued by the story, recognizing its potential to shatter the town's carefully constructed facade. Together, they delved into the records, uncovering a web of deceit that stretched far beyond the Harper family. Emily and the journalist's investigation revealed a staggering tale of corruption that had deeply rooted itself in the town's history. Over the years, powerful figures had used their influence to steal from unsuspecting families, leaving a trail of broken lives in their wake. As they pieced together the puzzle, they found shocking connections to influential individuals in the community, including the descendants of those in the photographs. But as Emily dug deeper, she realized that exposing the truth would come at a cost. The forces that had silenced her father were still present, watching, waiting for any misstep that might give them an advantage. Fear became a constant companion, whispering doubts in her ear and casting long shadows on her path. However, Emily refused to be deterred. With each threat, her determination grew, fueled by a righteous anger and the unwavering belief in the power of truth. She knew that her father had risked his life to expose the fraud, and she was determined to honor his sacrifice. As the day of publication approached, tensions reached a fever pitch. Emily could feel the darkness closing in, sensing the danger that lurked around every corner. But she stood firm, her resolve strengthened by the support of the journalist and the promise of justice. When the article finally dropped, it sent shockwaves through the town and beyond. The carefully crafted image of the community was shattered, revealing the rot that had been festering beneath the surface. People who had once seemed like pillars of society were exposed as cunning deceivers, their true colors on full display. In the aftermath, the descendants of the corrupt officials tried to discredit Emily and the journalist, but their efforts only served to highlight the overwhelming evidence. The truth had a way of surfacing, no matter how deep the cover-up. As for Emily, she felt a sense of vindication, yet also a profound sadness. The truth had come at a great cost, touching every aspect of her life and forever altering her perspective on the world. The old Harper Ranch stood silent, bearing witness to the unveiling of a half-century-old truth. The snow-covered fields seemed to sigh with relief, as if sharing in the burden that had been lifted. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the land, a sense of peace descended upon the house, a peace that had been denied for far too long. Emily, standing on the porch, felt the weight of her journey pressing down on her shoulders. But as the stars began to pepper the darkening sky, she knew she had done the right thing. She had honored her father's memory and brought a measure of justice to his name. Now, as the Montana night embraced her, she could finally let go. Her quest was over, but the story was far from finished. The town, once shrouded in secrets, was now on the path to healing. The wounds of the past were deep, but they were beginning to mend, allowing the light of truth to shine through. And so, as the years passed, the Harbor House became a symbol of resilience, a testament to the enduring power of truth and the courage of one woman who dared to seek it out.